Star Wars The Last Jedi is just around the corner, and everything I've seen so far looks awesome. I can't wait. The trailers look awesome. The only thing I'm a little nervous about are the porgs. But, you know, I want to keep an open mind, so I thought, why not draw a porg? And I think I might even throw in Chewbacca and the Millennium Falcon to boot. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome back to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. Well, that's what we usually create, but once a year, well, now that we're getting a Star Wars film every single year, it seems like, I usually take some time, maybe a week or so, maybe a couple weeks to work on some Star Wars stuff because I am a big fan. If you know anything about me, you know I have been a fan since, well, since the original Star Wars first came out. Yes, I'm that old, but so I've been so influenced by Star Wars, so I gotta take some time to do some fan art. So as I mentioned, yeah, the porgs. I don't know. I don't know about the porgs. I think it's gonna be okay because I kind of trust this director and everything, and writer as well. And I think Star Wars needs some levity and some comic relief, and I think those will be good. And I could see how these could be really fun. But I'm still a little leery. Some things we've had in the past that I wasn't too crazy about in the prequels, which shall remain nameless. But anyway, I am going to put my fears aside, and I'm going to draw a porg because they are kind of cute, I think. Anyway, but I got to throw in Chewie too because I love Chewie. So anyway, and I think it sounds like they've got a big role together to play, which I think might be fun. So anyway, I'm going to work on that today. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I thought I would do a fun little drawing of Chewbacca and a porg and the Millennium Falcon, and my original idea, I was thinking I wanted to do something sort of like a homage to like Big Daddy Roth and the Rat Fink. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but you've probably noticed it if you saw it, if you're not familiar. But it's Rat Fink is this kind of green rat character, and his eyes bug out and everything, and he's usually in this crazy like either four-wheel drive or dragster or something like that, and the wheels are all tilted and off kilter, and it's crazy. So originally that's what I was kind of thinking, and then I was like, I don't know if I could do that with like Chewbacca. I mean, it would be fun, and the porg and everything, but I thought just because the character itself is so super cute that maybe I should kind of scrap that idea and do something a little similar, like sort of these oversized bodies inside this little car, or inside the car of the Millennium Falcon. The other thing is, because the Millennium Falcon doesn't have any wheels, that's a big part of it, so I was just, how do I kind of do that? So I took a little bit of inspiration from that, but I decided to almost make it like they're in sort of like this toy. So they're, you know, you can see they're definitely not to scale, obviously. But even Chewbacca compared to the porg, I think I made the porg a little bigger than he would be in comparison to Chewbacca, just because so you could see him. So there's no scale involved. It's just fun, and I just thought I'd have fun and draw a little cartoon of, you know, Chewbacca and the porg, you know, piloting the Millennium Falcon. So that's kind of what I had in mind. So anyway, so the way I'm laying this out is I'm using my Prismacolor Color Erase pencil. It's basically color pencils that you can erase to a certain extent. I mean, you can't, you know, it's not like a normal pencil where you can erase everything. But if you're light-handed like me and you don't put a lot of pressure on, you can erase the lines pretty good, but I usually just keep them in because I like that. I like you to be able to see, oh, there's pencil under here, and that's kind of how it came together. So anyway, you can kind of see it take shape right now. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the porgs in general, and kind of, I don't know, what do you guys think about the porgs? Or I'm really not as worried as maybe I led on in the beginning. I think they're going to be fun, and I don't think, because Star Wars has always had that comic relief, and sometimes it goes a little over the top, you know, like with Jar Jar Binks and things like that. But I think done well. I think BB-8 in Force Awakens was great. He's super cute. You know, he's fun and everything, and I think he fit well in that universe. And to me, he wasn't annoying at all. And I don't see the porgs as, you know, this all remains to be seen once we see it. but I think it's kind of a good idea, and I can kind of see why they're doing it, because apparently this episode takes place right after we left off, which got me to thinking, really, I wonder what they'll do with the crawl, because the crawl in the beginning always lets us know kind of what's been happening in, whether it's been a year since the last episode or wherever that timeline is. But since we're picking right up where we left off, I'm curious what the crawl will be, because we're just kind of continuing, so we don't have to be. We don't really have to be updated that much, so that I'm curious about that. But that was a little tangent. Sorry. When I talk about Star Wars, I'm just from here to there, because there's so much, so much stuff I'm just so excited about. But anyway, so since we did we're picking up where we left off with Rey on ahct-to, seeing Luke, and we know Chewbacca's there because he piloted the Falcon out there and everything. But because Luke is going to be training with Rey, obviously they need something for Chewbacca to do. And a lot of some great moments, I think, in Star Wars with Chewbacca, or with him, just how he gets annoyed at things. He gets annoyed with the, playing the game, the chess game on the Falcon, and he gets annoyed like with the mouse droids and things. And one thing that really comes to mind is in Empire Strikes Back, when those ahgt-to, those little ugly, pig creatures, and that he got really, they're tossing C3. They took C3PO apart and they're tossing him around, and he's fighting with them and all that stuff. I can kind of see maybe a relationship sort of like that with the porgs, where they're like a nuisance to him. I don't know if that's going to be the way it goes, but I can see that being fun. And because there's always that criticism, oh, they're just done to sell toys, which I'm sure that's part of it. But I think obviously the ahgt-to, they were like ugly little pig creatures, like I said, so they weren't necessarily done just to sell toys, and there's not a whole lot. Most people don't even remember those creatures, but that was fun. That was a fun interaction. I think we can do something similar with the porgs. Now, when they, I guess when they leave ahct-to, and where I don't know where they're headed next or anything, that we'll find out in very soon. But I don't know if he brings them along on purpose, or if they're like just stowed away, like there's just like an infestation of them or something. Maybe they're popping. Maybe it's just one. I don't know if there's more than one on the Falcon, but I could see that really being fun. So I'm not too worried if they play it like that, or maybe they have something else in mind. Maybe they actually have like a purpose, maybe something to do with the Force, or they do live on that planet, that island, series of island planets. Is it a planet, or it has to be a planet. I don't know. Yeah, a planet with maybe an island planet. I don't know. We'll find out more about that as well. But so I'm not too worried if they go that route, because I think that could be really fun, and definitely give Chewbacca something to do, because obviously he doesn't have Han around to interact with. So we've got to. I think Rey's going to have her own thing with the training and everything. So we got to do something with that. So there's just so many things I'm thinking about how he's going to react with. Luke's going to react with Chewbacca and all that, and with Han not being there and all that stuff. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. I'm just like super excited. Like I said, my mind is just going. That's all I'm thinking about right now is just Star Wars. So, I just rewatched Force Awakens to kind of get me geared up and just make sure that I'm in the zone, and I kind of, because it's been a while, and when I was a kid, I would watch Star Wars over and over again and everything, and lately I just don't have time to watch a lot of TV. So as much as I'm a fan of Star Wars, I've probably only seen The Force Awakens maybe like 5 times. I've got it on Blu-ray and everything, but I don't sit down and watch it that many. And maybe some people are like 5 times, that's a lot, but I don't know. There's people that just watch things over and over, and I used to be that way, but now I kind of gotta pick and choose. But I definitely want to do a nice rewatch before, and I got to go back to the original trilogy too and rewatch those, because it's been a while. Unfortunately, all I have is the special. Well, actually, you know what? I've got. Maybe I should like go to Goodwill and find a VHS player, because I don't have one anymore. Maybe I could find one, and then maybe I can watch my old VHSs of the original, untouched by the special edition versions of the original trilogy. But anyway, so I've watched that, so I'm all re-caught up, I guess. I mean, there were a couple things that I forgot. Oh yeah, that happened, and where's that going to go that I wasn't really thinking about. So got that. And the other thing that was really cool was I went to this thing. My friend works at Nissan, and they do this promotion. I think it started with Rogue One because there's a Nissan Rogue. And so I guess because of that, they did some kind of tie-in. So they must have continued their relationship for this new, for The Last Jedi. But anyway, so his dealership that he works at, it was like one of, I think 13, he said, in the country that has this it was like this virtual reality thing. So he told me to come by, so I went down. I don't really like going to car dealerships because, you know, the sales would kind of mob you and stuff, and you know. But anyway, but actually they didn't even approach me. I went in with my daughter, and there was this thing, and there wasn't a line or anything. And so it was this virtual reality setup where you go in. It's, you know, I'd never really done. I saw a little one on the phone, but it was, you know, it was all right. But this thing, you know, had the whole thing with the, you know, it has the little controllers and all that stuff. And so the other one I did was just you kind of tilt up or down to do things or whatever. It was through somebody had it on a phone. But anyway, so this was it was really cool. It was like it had like BB-8, and you control these. You're in this like droid factory, and you can control these things that bring, you know, pick up BB-8 and bring them around, and it drops them on this table, and then there's this little handle thing that pops onto BB-8, and you can control it and pull it out, and like fix them. Like there's these little modules that you can pull out because they're bad. They like blink red, and you pull them out, and then you replace them with the blue ones and everything, and fix it, and then BB-8 drops down, and he rolls around, and you can kind of control where he goes, and you know, and then Poe comes up, BB-8, I need you, and then, you know, you got to get him to go out the door with Poe, and then all these, then you fix all these other droids, and then eventually like you're being attacked by the First Order and stuff. But it was pretty cool. So that was a really cool experience. I'm glad I got a chance to do that, because I guess they have it. I think he said that they also have a version of that at like Disneyland Tokyo, which I'm sure it's just sort of a pop-up thing. It was cool, but it wasn't like it was like a mobile like pop-up thing that they could probably take to different places and everything. But I'm glad I got a chance to do that. But I was surprised, like my daughter, I asked her if she wanted to go first, and she told me I could go, and then afterwards she didn't want to do it. So, but I guess she said she could kind of see what was going on, like they had a little monitor. So, and she told me, which broke my heart, she says, I don't really like Star Wars, and so I don't know, I must be doing something wrong as a parent since my daughter doesn't really care for Star Wars, but hopefully there's still time. Maybe I can turn, especially now that now you've got Rey as the protagonist and everything. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to work on her. But anyway, so I guess I should go back to the actual drawing. So right now, I'm just go ahead and inking everything. I've been using this brush pen instead. Usually I use the dip brush. Well, right now I'm using the dip brush just to color and everything. But previous to that, I was using a brush pen, and I'm looking at it, and I wish I could recommend what it is. I think I might have a link to it, but unfortunately it's all in Japanese. But it's like a Fude brush. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I mean, I'm digging it. I'm gonna have to get another one because I'm afraid it's gonna run out of ink. But so I used a brush pen for most of that, and now I'm just filling it in with the Deleter Black. It's a real good ink. The only thing I did get a little smudging from it in the corner, and I guess I was just moving too fast even with the smudge guard on my hand, but it's not too bad. So originally I wasn't going to do all this stuff, but I did get a little smudge there, so I had to cover it up. So I figured, well, I just draw in the background, and this is kind of my go-to thing where I kind of do a little bit of sort of a Kirby crackle going throughout. Not too heavy on that, but I'll add some stars and everything. So just inking in that, and then I'm going to break out my markers, and I'll use just a variety of different markers here. I'm using Copics, I'm using the Chameleons, I've got a set of Hoo markers. I've got some other ones too. I think those are the only ones I'm using for this particular ones, but I just keep collecting all these markers. I like to do these marker reviews, so I just keep gathering these markers, and now I've got all these different kinds, and they all work well together, so I'm not you know, I'm not a fanboy of any particular marker set. So, but yeah, this is, yeah, I got my tickets for opening night Star Wars first showing. It's a little different because now they've got all the reserved seating. So as much as I enjoy not having to wait in line, and that I can just go and my seat is reserved, so I don't have to wait for like 4 hours or 6 hours, because I've even with the prequels, as much as you know, I kept hoping with those, but as much as I'm not a huge fan of the Star Wars prequels, I was there for opening night of every one of those. I don't remember as a kid if I was ever opening. I know when I saw Empire Strikes Back, there was a huge line and I was waiting a long time, and but it wasn't like midnight showing or anything like that. And now it's like, now they just keep bumping it up, because I'm seeing it on Thursday at like, I think, was it 7 o'clock or 6:30 or sometime around there. So they keep bumping it back, because before it was just midnight showing, and then it's like, well, we'll make it it's like Black Friday keeps, even though technically it comes out on Friday, they're having early showings. So I'm going to the earliest one that I can get. I was waiting as soon as they went on sale, and I snatched them up. So yeah, I probably should have got some tickets after that, because I would have loved to go see it and then come back the next day and see it again. So I may have to wait for it to die down, because I don't know what they're sold out. I don't know if you can just go and get tickets for any time that weekend, but I have a feeling I'm going to want to see it again. So yeah, I mean, just I do kind of miss that that feeling of just waiting in line and all that stuff, waiting for it to come out. But I don't have to do that anymore. So, you know, it's got its pluses and minuses. But when you know, the other thing that as a kid, and as much as I like these continuing sequels, you know, this new trilogy, and I'm happy with what Disney's doing. The fact that, you know, I missed that, you know, 20th Century Fox logo. But the thing is, and I don't know based on this if this is going to happen, but I guess Fox is trying to sell off their movie division because they want to focus just on news and sports. And so if they do that, if they sell that to Disney, maybe they could bring back that fanfare. I mean, there's probably not technically a reason to do that other than just for fanboys like me who, when that comes on, I mean, that was, to me, that was Star Wars, even though there were other 20th Century Fox movies. But anytime that you know, that logo came up with that music, you know, in my mind, it just triggered Star Wars, you know. And I remember anytime that came on, I would walk around the house with my hand held up like a lightsaber. I was just like super excited. So there is a possibility if they sell to Disney that they may put that back in at some point. I don't know if they will, but that would be kind of cool if they did. But yeah, so yeah, who knows what'll happen with that? But you know, I'm not a big fan of sports or Fox News. So if they sell, I don't have any attachment to Fox other than their movies. And if they sell them to Disney, then I don't know. It could be a good thing. It's could be a monopoly. I don't know. But those are my rambly thoughts about all things Star Wars. All right, that is going to do it. Yeah, I think the next time you see me, I may have seen the movie, so I am looking forward to it. I'm going to see it opening night, and yeah, porgs and all. We'll see what happens. But I imagine that after I see it, I'm going to want to draw some more Star Wars stuff, because I will have a whole lot of new visuals that I'll want to sink in and maybe put on the page. So we'll see. I'll see you guys later. That is all. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here in the Art Lab. There's a lot of other great content on the channel, so click that subscribe button and you won't miss a thing. If you're an aspiring evil genius, visit Serkworks.com for all your mad science supply needs. And if you want to contact me, hit me up in the comments section or follow me on social media. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then.